Hey, Brandon Beliso here. It is Friday, September 6th, 11 a.m. Pacific. Pacific? Man, it's like a tongue twister. I've been saying that for a decade, and I still don't get that right. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on the West Coast. I am Brandon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. So we as a collective, we're just trying to figure out this thing called life. And I just got off the call with a school owner, and we're going over his Kids Live Life Skills program and trying to help him implement that fully into his school. And it really is understanding the value of life centers around the skill set that we learn, we practice, and make habit. In this case, what are we discussing? Cool life skills like confidence, focus, empathy, gratitude. I believe all those things help me fulfill my purpose. And that's really what that conversation came down to is, what is your purpose? And my purpose is real simple, to live my best life. And that's why I'm here with you, because my goal is to help you live your best life by trying to help you figure out the different components and elements of your business to help it grow and thrive. Cool. So with that said, let's thank our sponsors. Who do we have? Tusaw, simply the best, I believe, relationship wise when it comes to martial arts equipment. We can buy uniforms out of Pakistan today, right? But what I'm discussing is long-term relationships where people do right by you, where people make things right. Case in point, my dad was one of the first clients of Tusaw back in the 90s, and I still do business with the son of the original founder of Tusaw. Market Muscles, Stephen Reinstein, to me is a gift for the martial arts industry. He is a martial artist. His company was born out of trying to help his instructor, right, grow their school. And those types of relationships are powerful. When I know people do things out of love, that's just the coolest. My studio, Brother Two and the gang out there, they're on version 2. We just moved things over to Stripe. We've had a couple of challenges with Stripe, but I'm cool with it because in the end, Stripe is one of the most powerful processors when it comes to credit cards and stuff. So I don't mind the inconvenience today because we'll make good on it with my studio. They'll take care of things and that'll all come together. Kids Live Life Skills, we're this close, you guys. We're this close. Chris has been working so hard. I can't believe how much it takes to build out a very user-friendly CRM website where people can purchase things and download the support materials. But we're close, and we'll let you know when that release comes. What's up, Roy? What's up, Bob Poole? Elsie Accounting, my sister. I love you. I love my sister. She is a gift. If you're looking for a great bookkeeper, please find her. Kin Creative. Me and the boys at Kin Creative are really shaking up the digital media industry as far as martial arts schools are concerned, because I understand one thing. It all begins with the creative, right? How many millions of dollars do people spend on a Super Bowl ad and paying an ad agency to create something unique? I believe that's what we're really trying to do. And for me, I'm being a songwriter. When I would write a hit song, I want something that's timeless. What bothers me with trend-based marketing, it comes and it goes, right? Whatever's trendy, we're all going to do, right? This TikTok dance or this graphic or this effect. But when you truly help tell a story through somebody's brand, it just takes on a whole new life. And that's what I want to do. We want to create scripts for you. We want to create video ads for you that can stand the test of time. It'll be good today. It'll be good 10 years from now. And that's I know it's a lofty goal, but I believe if we can hit somewhere in there, we're going to produce ads and stuff that are going to put you heads and tails above your competition. Cool? So what are we going to be talking about today? Before we get into that, what do I got coming up? We only have 10 spots left for the 4-day experience of It's Time Live Purpose. Only 10 spots left, folks. So you better get signed up. And in the 4-day, we got Dave Kovar, who's going to do the instructor's boot camp, the training. We got Shannon Park, who's one of the newcomers on the scene, but she's got a degree in child development. She's a really good soul. She traveled the whole country, and going into different martial arts schools. And honestly, that was my decision maker with bringing in Shannon Park. Somebody that'll get in their car and drive across the whole country, stopping at different martial arts schools, testing her methods, meeting school owners, getting a real pulse of what's going on in our industry. Powerful, just freaking powerful. And then, of course, we got Adam Lodi from Kin Creative to help us with marketing and social media. And then yours truly. I'm going to be there holding down the line for 4 days, helping take you on this experience that I believe is life transforming. So go to brandonbeliso.com, look under events, Put it in there, Marco. Let people get signed up. And of course, Samon will be there helping us with wealth building. Wealth building is really crucial. You don't want to own a business and not make money and invest it and turn it into passive income. So we're going to have Sam on there for that. So what are you going to do right now? Get signed up for the 4 days. There's only 10 spots left. If not, then you have to come 1 or 2 days. Cool? So today's subject, people ask me, they go, dude, it's only September. What's up with you? Why are you already talking about how to finish the year strong? You know why? Because success leaves clues, right? And success is something you plan for. I've owned small businesses for close to 35 years. I've owned martial arts schools as a business for the past 25. I understand my success in 2025 is being cultivated right now, right now, right now, right now. So I don't think it's crazy to be looking at the last 4 months of the year and really planning and strategizing and not only closing out 2024 strong, right? So my numbers are right. Because if you don't have a clear picture of what your business looks like at this point for 2024, then you're not paying attention, right? So that's the first thing when we talk about this, evaluating and optimizing your expenses. I want to take a look at how I've been spending my money up until now. Okay, how I've been spending my money up until now, and does it make sense? Whatever I'm investing in, whatever marketing I'm doing, whatever employees, right? Should I be spending this money on them, or do I need to cut back? All of that should be happening because you have all this data, right? I've got roughly 8 months of data for 2024 to let me know. Should I cut this? Where do I need to downsize? Where do I need to increase my spending? All that is happening for us right now. We're analyzing our after school program and looking at that. I'd like to raise that game and add somebody else in there. And that's part of that. Hey, what's up, Professor Xavier? I love saying that. I can't call you Chris. I feel like an X-Man, Professor Xavier, right? Of Gracie Jiu Jitsu. What's happening, sir? What's happening? So for me, I know people think that's crazy. They go, what? I can't believe you're doing that. We're absolutely doing that. Now's the time to do that. So you want to evaluate and optimize your expenses. And I say evaluate means cutting back, right? Optimizing, optimizing is a whole different thing. This is a big one, because we do a tuition increase every January. Every January, we do a regular tuition increase. If you're not increasing your tuition every year, again, I don't think that's good business. Every year, your rent goes up. Every year, your personal medical insurance goes up. Every year, right? Everything goes up every year. The cost of living. So we don't call it a tuition increase. We call it a cost of living increase. So we know January 1st, it's going to go up about 4 to 5% every year, like clockwork. When I work with martial arts school owners and they say to me, well, I'm thinking about a tuition increase. When's the last time you raised your tuition? I think about 4 years ago. I raise my hand. I go, time's up, pencils down, please. That is a mindset that needs to shift, just like in paying my team. Every year, it's not based upon a performance review. Every year, my team gets a 4 to 5% increase because the dollar they earn today will not be worth the same dollar a year from now, right? They're making the same dollar, yet in a whole year, gas has gone up, food has gone up, everything's gone up. It doesn't make any sense. So again, when I'm evaluating my expenses and looking at those things, that's important as well. So we talk about looking at your products now, evaluating. We have programs we're thinking of cutting. They're not making us enough money. Maybe we shouldn't have this program, right? But I like it. Okay. If that's fine and it takes a time slot that doesn't, impinge upon your primary source of income, whether that's kids or adults, sure. Keep that small program there for nostalgia or for what works for you. So as we're raising this tuition in January, the one thing we do offer, which we don't promote, it's only internally, is you could buy 1 year paid in full at the current tuition rate. Now, please be mindful of that, okay? I'm not going to sell you a whole year and discount it by 10%. That defeats the purpose. I might as well just leave you on month to month at the current rate. See, I think that the big misconception with cash outs is, you see someone will post it at social media. Well, in my December, I did 150,000. Yeah, but the rest of the year, you're doing 35, 40. Don't let 1 month make you think you're all that in a bag of potato chips. You know why? That 1 month that you did all those cash outs, you need to take that and spread it out over what? A year. So we physically take that money and put it into a different account so we don't have the illusion that I have all this money sitting in my account to spend. Okay. So I think if you're going to do cash outs, which I'm not against cash outs at all. I just think you need to be very mindful that money has to be allocated over a 12-month period. You with me? But what a great time to offer that to your long-term members who've been with you forever, right? They don't want the tuition increase. Well, you can avoid it for another year by paying for when you're paid in full at the current rate. But if you discount it by 10%, you're shooting yourself in the foot, folks. You are shooting yourself in the foot. Anyone with me? Put it in the comments. And I know that's a really sensitive subject because when it comes to tuition increase, I know a lot of people that don't feel they should do that. And I think that mindset for me always came from the fact that I wasn't putting money into developing my staff. I wasn't putting money into bettering my curriculum, right? If you're not reviewing your curriculum on a yearly basis, then you shouldn't be charging premium dollar, right? Because the number one source of income is martial arts instruction, what we deliver on that mat. So why aren't you putting money in curriculum development? Why aren't you bettering your curriculum? We do it all the time. My team will come to me. This requirement sucks. Nobody likes it. We don't like to teach it. It's ineffective. Well, we've always done it that way. Poor excuse. Poor excuse, right? I want people to be engaged, learning, growing. And if both sides are digging it, your staff as well as your students, that's a winning combination. Just because I'm trying to hold on to a technique that my father taught me when I was 5 that might be obsolete today. I can't do that. So again, we put a lot of money into curriculum development. We put a lot of money into staff training. My top tier guys are making well over 100,000 a year, right? And that's important to me. That's very important to me because they provide me with freedom, right? Well, you could be putting all that money in your pocket. Yeah, if I'm teaching 60 hours a week, I teach 1 day a week to stay in the mix. I train the teams to stay in the mix. But the day-to-day teaching is handled by a core team that has been with me now the average of 13 to 15 years. Do I pay well for it? Absolutely. And they deserve it. Did you know? And I just want to send this one by you for a moment. Hey, Ken. What's happening, Ken? All the way from Germany. It's good to see you here back with us, Ken. Folks, if you're here, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. I was looking, somebody posted the other day. The average McDonald's owner brings in $2 million a year, yet he only takes home 150. Yeah. But he's not doing any of the work, right? Once it's set up and rolling and doing what it's supposed to do, he's netting 150 for doing nothing. He doesn't have to show up, right? Once it's all in place, right? He's going to have to work it till he gets the right people in it. But after that, it runs itself, right? It runs itself. So be mindful of that. When someone comes to me and they say, my net is 50%. Yeah, you make 50% of $100,000. So you're making $50,000 and you're working 60 hours a week, right? I'd rather have 35% of $2 million and work 1 day a week. You see where I'm going with that? So I think one of the big things when you're focusing on, you know, your products and your team and the different things, I want to make sure I'm taking care of my good people. I want to make sure I'm putting money into my curriculum, which gives me the confidence to raise my tuition. And I have kids love life skills. One of the clients I spoke to this morning, he's just talking about, wow, the value and the shift in the mindset of my culture because we're now this character development leader in our community. I said, yeah, that's how kids love life skills was designed. Just use it fully the way it was designed, and you're going to see results, right? You're going to see those results. This is the big one. Boost your marketing efforts. Boost your marketing dollar. You know, the stats are different everywhere. Some people say you should use up to 20% of what you generate in revenue into advertising. Think about, companies that pay millions of dollars for an ad for the Super Bowl, right? I don't believe we spend enough money on marketing because we don't understand the value of it. There's a simple stat that says if you get a 1% return on your ad dollar, that's a good day. I think that sucks, but it is what it is. We always want to improve that, right? So as we come to this last 4 months of the year, I'm going to put more money into Facebook ads, more money into Google. I want to end the year strong, strong. So if you think about it, we're really have to get momentum rolling right through October. right? Because then we got Thanksgiving right on the tail, and then we got all people spending all their money during the holidays. I want to be part of that mix. So whatever sales you're going to do, all those things should be happening when? When should they be happening? Anybody know? Probably late October, early November, because I want you to spend your money with me. So I want to let you know we have these specials, we have these offers, these things are in place. Somebody was complaining, oh, there's already Christmas at Costco because they're understanding they're trying to one up each other and get ahead of the game. And if you're thinking about Christmas and Costco's got something on sale right now with Christmas decorations, you might need some lights for the outside of the house. Now's the time to buy it. I know it pisses people off, but that's okay. I get what they're trying to do. They're one upping each other. Remember, before Christmas used to be the beginning of December. Then somehow it magically happened in the middle of November. Then it magically got pushed up side by side with freaking Halloween. And now you see Christmas in Costco now. I saw it in Costco now. I get that. So it's the same thing here, right? I'm going to be increasing my marketing dollar, social media posts, all the rest to help people position to spend their money with us during the holidays and well into the new year. You with me? You with me? So think about that. Hey, Conrad, what's happening, sir? Well, what is Conrad sharing with us, Marco? I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's effort than 100% of my own efforts. John D. Rockefeller. Thank you, sir. I love it. Send that one me to Conrad. I'd love to use that. So think about that for a minute, okay? One of the big things I'm pushing right now is to make sure we are boosting our marketing efforts, right? In every way. If you saw my August, I just posted it in the newsletter. Between all my companies, I think I did like 20 different things. Plus, I was in Vegas, I was in Texas, all these things happening. Why am I doing that in August, right? Why? Because it's setting the precedent for September, October, November, December. You saw the Art and Wine Festival we did last week, the demo team, the black belt testing, the kindergarten meet and greet, the Little League celebration at the end of the year. We've done so many things in the month of August, and we're just getting started, folks. We're just getting started. So think about that, and you should be upping your marketing dollar. Absolutely. Absolutely. Engage with current customers. I think that's a big one. You know, as we think of seasons, right? As we come to the end of this year, make no mistake, they're going to be evaluating, do I want to do another year of one martial arts? They will, because that's the way people think, right? That's how people think. When it's winter, bears hibernate. They don't question it, they just freaking hibernate. It's the same thing here. I'm reflecting on the year. What did I do this year? Well, I got my kid into karate. What do I really think about that? Has he grown? You know, has he achieved the goals of confidence I want? Did something do we want to continue? All that's happening organically because it's the end of the year. The end of the year. So for you to engage with your current members more than you ever have is super important. So what do we do? Of course, you should all do some kind of holiday celebration, right? It's a retention event, not to generate new leads. And know the difference. We have retention events for our existing members, and we have lead building events. They're two separate animals. So we also do a Halloween event, right? We do 3 workouts. One, Thanksgiving morning, 2 hours, right? One, the day after Christmas, 2 hours. New Year's Day, 2 hours. We've done that for well over 20 years. And we keep it because that's a huge retention event. It's a huge cultural building event. You know, there's only about 20 people who come, but that's not the point. The point is it builds goodwill. So what are you doing retention wise? Another one I'm going to try to budget for, right? You're looking at expenses and everything. Because one of the things I do as I come to the end of the year, I look at the surplus of income, right? If I don't spend it, what happens? I give it to the government, 40% of it. So I want to make sure that I'm taking that money and using it. We're probably going to buy t-shirts and give one to every member in our school. Every member. That is my goal. That's probably a $5,000 project. But the goodwill that would raising the bar, we've never done that in all of our 24 years. You know, we've given out t-shirts and stuff, but not a focused thing where everybody gets a t-shirt all at once during the holidays. So again, looking ways to engage with your current members, super vital. Write down the surveys. Do a simple Google form and say, hey man, you know, hey folks, here at One Martial Arts, we want to do better for you as we come into 2025. Please tell us 3 things we did well and 3 things we could do better. Make it anonymous. Leave it at that. You with me? So again, that engagement with your current members. So they take you into Thanksgiving, they take you into Christmas, and when they spent all that money during the Christmas season, and they're deciding, man, I got this big old credit card bill from the holidays. What do I cut at expenses to pay off this credit card? You will be the last thing they cut. You with me? Put it in the comments. All right, who else do we have? Conrad, Ken, Chris. Tell me who else is sitting there watching the show. I love to give you a shout out. I want to know who you are. Please put it in. Mm, mm. This is a big one, and one of the reasons why we do It's Time Life Purpose in November. You want to be expanding your network and partnerships. That is a big one, as well as ending some relationships. As I come out of August and I look at all the seeds I've planted throughout the year, the people I'm dancing with, romancing and dining and thinking about, is this a relationship worth investing in or not? I want to expand that net as well as contract, right? I'm going to skim the fat, people that the projects aren't panning out, the relationships are panning out. Sometimes you got to know when to let go. But on the flip side, I want to organically lean in and expand my network. And that's good. But see, when I expand my network or I develop new relationships, it has to fulfill a purpose. Live your best life. It has to fulfill that, folks. What challenges me, and I see it all the time, and please get me on this. I am a learner. I love to learn. I love to read. I love to watch podcasts. I love to do a lot of introspective learning at 62, finding out who I am today. But make no mistake, when I see somebody go to all these different events and they post it at social media, yet their school is still at 100 students and it has been that way for a decade, you are a professional student. You're simply a note taker that likes to go out there and just gather information. And I'm going to tell you why it stops there, because you don't have a very clear purpose. Again, if it doesn't help me fulfill my best life or my team or my family or the community we serve, we don't do it. So if I'm going out there looking for mentors, if I'm out there networking, I'm not going to hang out with a bar with a bunch of people who smoke and drink. I don't do that. That's not living your best life for me. You feel me? So that's again, I'm very clear on who I am and what my purpose is, what my why is. So when I go out there network and do those different things, I have a very clear avatar or very clear picture of the type of people, their energy, their core values that I want to associate with. And it's not always money oriented. It's not always money oriented. Please be mindful of that. I watch people gravitate towards people making a lot of money, and they don't share the same core values. They don't share the same, you know, philosophies and discipline. And for me, that's something that's very challenging, right? It just simply is. So again, I want you to think about that, and that's a big one, right? Um, Expanding your network and partnerships. So who else is there? Hey, what's up, Jason? My brother Jason. Believe Martial Arts, Chipley, Florida. Jason and Marco and Monique, if you don't know, they're part of our It's Time group mentoring. We're a great team of four out there helping small school owners predominantly become well versed at every aspect of their business: system writing, curriculum development, branding, uh, SOPs, culture, mindset, everything it takes to be a successful person as well as a successful small business owner. And this team I'm really proud of. They've all grown as individuals into their own right. And I think they bring a unique skill set. Marco is great on branding and graphics. Jason is good on the mindset. Monique, she's our nuts and potatoes person, right? She keeps everybody on task and keeps us all in line. I think it's a really good team, and I am just I'm the guy who's out there, and they're all grabbing me by my feet, my ankles, and pulling me back down to earth. Because I mean, we live on this physical plane, and I'm going to get a little heavy on you. We live on this physical plane, but I say it all the time. I have my feet on the ground and my head is in the clouds. I like dreaming. I like the happy ending at the end of the movie. I want to believe that good will always win over evil. That's just me. That's just me. But it makes for a better life. I enjoy my life and I love it because of that mindset. So in this group, you're going to get that too. And we're doing really good work. We're ready to take on more clients. I'm confident with Jason and Monique and Marco and what we're doing to, let you know that we are taking on more clients for It's Time group mentoring. I think it's affordable. And to have the four of us in your back pocket 24/7, 365, you won't get that anywhere for the type of fee that we're asking. Cool. But we want to help the small school owner. And that's why it is there. Justin Omerovich, what's up, sir? How are you? You got to get your family, get Tony and your dad to come out for It's Time in November. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. So we talked about expanding your network and partnerships, hosting end of year events or promotion. Like I said, we have the Halloween party. We have those 3 extreme kickboxing workouts. We have a holiday party. We do a week of camp during the winter, right? All those things are put in place, kind of the end of the year celebration. You want to wrap up the year and put a nice bow on it, right? That's real important. That's real important. The celebration of the holidays. I watch school owners who angst over the holidays because it cuts into their revenue. Well, it doesn't. Some people do a super sale, and some people do cash outs to the existing members like we do before the tuition increase. Some people do a special white belt in a bag. They'll sell these special programs and stuff so people can use them as stocking stuffers. All those things that go along with holidays and the buzz of the holidays, you should be in the mix. You should be in the mix. That's why I don't get it. During the summer, some people are like, closing up shop and waiting for August. Don't do that. If anything, lean into it harder. Do camps, workshops, different things, right? Add morning classes. That's a whole nother subject about summer. But I find that people often look at the holidays as a dead month. December is not a dead month. December should be, where you're freaking putting the foot to the gas, the pedal to the metal, and you're driving this thing hard. You with me? So think about what are some of the things you can host for the end of year's events or promotions. Put them in the comments. I want to know your thoughts. Who else is hanging out with us? Put it in there. We're talking about the last 4 months of the year to end 2024 strong, and which will give us the momentum to roll right into 2025. Who's hanging out with us? As I take a sip of my organic coffee. I think this is one that is overlooked and one we should always be mindful of. Your cash flow, you want to monitor your cash flow and adjust accordingly. Now, why do we use the word cash flow? Can anybody tell me? Let's do a little financial learning. Why do we use the word cash flow? Who can tell me why? What do you think? No one's got an answer? Come on. Give me one, give me one, give me one. Why do we use the word cash flow? And this is an important one. I'm waiting. See, you're going to make me answer it for you because I'm an impatient soul sometimes. Nothing? Okay. We use the word cash flow. Oh, there it is. Okay, go ahead, Conrad. What does Conrad says? What did it say, Marco? Put it up. Because it flows in and out. We are a cash-based business. We take a certain amount of money in every month, and we have a certain amount of expenses every month. So you want to look at that cash flow. And again, when you have an overinflated December at 150,000, let's say hypothetically, that's a unicorn. I want to know across the board right now, based upon 8 months, where my businesses are at. Right? Right now, we're poised to about 1.9 million. I thought we'd do well over 2, but we had a couple of rough months. August was a rough month for us. Who knows why? Right? We just had a rough August. I think more people are coming back now after Labor Day weekend. Maybe it's just a shift. Who knows why? Who knows why? It just is what it is. And so we want to be mindful. We can look at these 8 months as a KPI and go, okay, what is our average monthly gross at location 1, location 2? What's our average expense? Location 1, location 2, right? We just had to factor in location 2. Both air conditioners went down. $40,000 project. That's going to mess up our cash flow for the year, right? I'm going to spread that out and depreciate it over 5 years, but nonetheless, it's still an expense that needs to happen. So I think it's really important to know that we are a cash-based business and we have money in and we have money out. So when you do something, or something unexpected like this happens, do you think I'm taking the cash out of the business to pay for these air conditioners? Put it in the comments. What do you think? If we're a cash-based business, money in, money out. Where am I getting that 41,000? Am I taking it out of the income accounts of the location where the air conditioners broke? Go. What do you think? And is that a good choice? Tell me. Come on. Give me an no. Thank you. Because it's going to mess up my cash flow. How am I going to cover my expenses if I have a certain amount that comes in a month, a certain money goes out each month? Because whatever the profit is in that month, I'm putting it in my investments, right? That has to keep happening too. So I keep lines of credit. Ideally, if you can save up 6 months surplus, a 6 month surplus of monies to cover that, fine. But see, right now, for me personally, I'm not going to take money out of not my retirement account. I have a general trading account. I'm not going to take money out of that to pay for these air conditioners because right now is the time to be buying because the market's down for me. So I'm going to use a line of credit. It's like roughly 9%. I don't like credit cards. I pay all my credit cards off in full every month. But this one, it can sit there for a bit. I don't mind that. Now, am I looking at credit cards where I can do a balance transfer with 0% interest for like 18 months? Absolutely. See, all these things are there, but no, I'm not taking money out of the cash in the school to pay for these air conditioners. Absolutely not. Does everybody get that? I hope you're with me. So, monitoring your cash flow, now's a good time to look at the 8 months and say, where do I need to adjust? Where do I need to adjust? Because if you're not taking some type of profit out of your business every month, and I don't care if it's $1, the habit of saying it's a profitable business, the habit of taking money out of my business each month and calling it profit and investing it into passive income, whether it's real estate, stock market, some people like crypto. I don't know what you're into, but there's a lot of ways to make money. I really enjoyed the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where he said, own real estate, right? I own a home, which has, I don't know, over a million something in equity, right? I own successful businesses. Successful means they're profitable, okay? You can say you own a business, but if you just squeaking by, it's not a business until it's relatively profitable. And then third, have a portfolio, right? A portfolio that's generating you passive income, right? So those three legs of the stool for me have always helped me decide that that is my version of financial success. Cool. So again, monitor your cash flows. That's a great thing to do right now. Look at all 8 months, average out the spending, and decide where you need to cut, where you need to add more. Make those adjustments. Make those adjustments, please. And as I shared, implementing the, feedback, those types of surveys at the end of the year. Hey, man, how do we do in 2024? We want to do better in 2025 for you. That's living our best life. What is it we can do better? Right? We always want, but I always pre-frame that with, what are we doing well, so we can build on our strengths and offer. But if you got to make it anonymous, and I wouldn't incentivize it, like a lot of people do, take this survey, get a $25 Starbucks gift card. I would just put it out there, and those who feel so inclined, and make it anonymous, right? Allow them to survey you and tell you what you do well and what you can do better, right? What you can do better. I think that's real important. Jun, Master Jun Kim, how are you, sir? So, questions up to this point, takeaways up to this point, before I get into the ninth and final point. Everything we're discussing is how to maximize 2024. I think we've done that quite well. And everything we're discussing is going to lead us into 2025, right? That's the objective here. What are your big takeaways to make 2024 the best year ever? You got 4 more months. What are the things you've learned today that's going to make 2024 the best? Always monitor your cash flow. Yeah, absolutely. You've heard me say this a million times. If I make $1 and I spend 50 cents, I have 50 cents in the bank. If I make $1 million and I spend $2 million, I'm in debt. And that's the challenge. The more money you make, the more people. I get credit cards, lines of credit all day long. People are offering me all kinds of stuff. I just rip them up and throw them out, right? Believe me, someone who's making $100 a month, is not getting offered all those credit cards and stuff, right? They're not. But that's the challenge. The more you make, the more you spend. The goal is the more you make, the more you save. That should be the narrative, right? You know, make sure your family and everybody gets what they need. But the more you make, the more you save. What else have we got? Always monitor your cash flow. Now, that was Jason. What else? What else are we going to do in 2024 to make it the best year ever? Hmm. What do we got, Marco? Anybody else in there? Come on, this is an interactive show. Your input is important. I don't have guests on the show, but I got you, right? Yeah, plan ahead. Plan ahead. I always tell people there's three things I focus on. A, open the door, take the money, teach the classes. That's the everyday stuff. It doesn't happen, we don't eat. B, something 4 to 6 weeks out. In this case, the Halloween event coming up, right? 6 to 8 weeks. If you want to plan something correct, you want to plan it well, right? And then the C list, the dream big. Next year, we're going to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. We're making it happen now. So there's another example, right? So planning ahead, I think, is crucial, but more than just planning ahead is having an action plan that you methodically implement and consistently implement to make sure that whatever you're planning for in the future comes to fruition, right? Comes to fruition. I think that's super important. What else? Monitor your cash flow, plan ahead, build relationships, partnerships to be successful. And the right ones, right? I think that's the big thing is I'm ending some relationships I started the year with, right? Because they just didn't blossom to what I thought they would. They became obsolete. And that's okay too. That's totally okay too, right? I'm fine with that. Because it makes way for new relationships. But what are all my relationships rooted in? Living your best life. If they don't help me live my best life, I've learned part of my success is learning to say no. That's been a big one for me. Learning to say no. And so I've done that quite successfully. And, some people like it, some people don't. But there's only so many hours in the day. And in my belief of work-life balance, that's important to me. But if I see a relationship of value, I will invest in it. I will build that relationship and those partnerships, right? But you can't, you got to know when to let go too. And I think that's the big one that troubles people. They don't know when to let go. And that's important. Cool. What other takeaways to making 2024 the best year ever? You still got 4 months in this year, but successful people plan ahead, right? Right now, we're looking at these 4 months and we're hyper focused on them because we don't have the past 8. The past 8 just give me data, right? Success leaves clues. Well, so does failure. I can look at my success and failures in the first 8 months and I can tweak it for these last 4 months of the year to just nail it, to kill it. Cool. Anything else you've gotten from up to this point to making 2024 the best? And for those of you just coming aboard, go back and watch this one. Again, we've been having some amazing episodes. I'm just in a zone. I've really been in a really powerful place. And my learning, my experience is coming into fruition. And I'm able to deliver it with such a level of confidence that it promotes a sense of accuracy and it inspires people to take action. Does that all make sense? All right. So while you put in whatever you got out for 2024, I'm going to move into number 9. Plan for the future. So what does that mean in 2025? Well, let's talk first of all with programs. Evaluate your programs. If there's one you really want to run with that's not quite where it wants, well, there's a reason for that. Maybe you need to shelve it, right? Get rid of it or lean hard into it and grow that program. I'm going to look at the programs that are already rocking. If your youth karate is the biggest program you have in your school, then I would be planning to add more classes. I would be planning to expand that program, not take away other time slots with some half-baked program I want to implement. Yeah, but you need multiple revenue streams. I understand that. But if I have a train out of the station running 700 youth karate students, why would I sit there and not open up more classes for it? Why would I not spend more on Facebook ads? All those things need to happen as far as I'm concerned, right? So that's one big plan for the future because that's our main revenue stream, right? Martial arts classes. So if you were to scrutinize that and you're planning for the future of those programs, what are some of the key elements? Expand the schedule on a program, revise the curriculum and better it, not get rid of it, better it. I'm always an advocate of not going bigger. I'm an advocate of going deeper because going deeper offers me the potential to create something that's really, that je ne sais quoi, that thing that's just of higher value. The deeper I go on something, the more rich it becomes, the fuller it becomes, the more relevant it becomes, right? Often I'm going to buy that guy's program. How do you know it's going to work? Because he says so. I'm going to buy her program because, it's new, white, and shiny, and I'm going to buy that one. I see that happen all day long. And all it does, it's a distraction and it derails you. Then when they come back to me crying, I say, well, what's your main program? Well, youth karate. I have 150 students. Why aren't you leaning into that? Well, I figured that one was already going well. No. Now all of a sudden it's suffering because your time has shifted to this half-baked program that you bought outside. I'm not against buying outside programs. I have Kids Love Life Skills. I sell it to everybody. What I'm against are you buying programs that distract you from your primary target, your primary focus. So whatever is your best program right now, double down on it. Lean into it. Expand the schedule, better the curriculum, train the team better, really refine that program. And I guarantee you're going to blow up better, quicker, and faster than taking a brand new program that has 5 students in it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I hope it does. What else in the future? Of course, we talked about your program's primarily staffing. Evaluate your staff. Who's the rock stars? Who do you need to secure? I would be willing to take a loan from a bank to keep a rock star that I felt fit to our culture, that believed in what we do. And I just need to pay them more than I have currently on my income. I did that at one point and it worked brilliantly. It helped, propel my revenue and the growth of my school in ways that I couldn't because that person really solidified that, right? How's the saying go? You want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a team. So I'm really, really mindful of that. And I hope you are too. So I'm looking at that right now. Our staff, who rocked, who didn't. I'm not good at firing people, but I'm going to tell you this. There's sometimes you got to let people go. You got to be willing to do that just as easily as they would quit and leave your organization. You want to be mindful of that. I always hear from school owners about somebody leaving or somebody quitting, but I never hear about school owners firing somebody or getting rid of somebody. The door swings both ways, and you can't be afraid to do that. So I'm evaluating all of our staff right now. We're realigning some staff as we move into this totally no program director, no front desk, a kiosk driven waiting area. Where do our old front desk people fit in? Admin. So we're refining their admin position. This should be going on right now for all of you. Because if you do the same old thing, you get the same old results. At least admit that. Right? If you do the same old thing, you get the same old results. I was on a group call yesterday and I said, if your goal is 300 students, behave like a school that has 500. I only have 100 right now, sir. Well, again, if you behave like a school with 100 students, you will always be a school with 100 students. You behave like one with 500, I'm sure you get to 300 a lot quicker and faster. I hope that makes real sense because for me, that's always been a very valuable mindset that has helped me. Because then I'm writing the systems, I'm developing a staff big enough. And will you be staff heavy at a moment? You will. We were staff heavy at one point, and then boom, we blew up. And then we had just enough staff to keep the momentum and keep things rolling. So that's a big one for me right now, planning the future of my staff. So we did programs, we did staff. In November, we sit down and plan out the whole calendar year. You should be doing that. Every event should be on a calendar by the end of November. Halloween party, holiday party. What weeks of camp are you doing? When's the bully workshop? When's your women's self-defense workshop? How many parents' night outs are you going to do? All of them should be in the calendar. All your testing dates, all of it should be in the calendar by the end of November. You with me? Because that helps us plan better. And I'm looking at the calendar in 2024 and go, that event sucked. We'll never do that event again. It didn't help us culturally. It didn't help us grow the school. So again, in that evaluation, because you need to make room. You only have so many Saturdays in the year, right? Only many opportunities to do community events. I have to be willing to let go of the ones that don't work and replace it with one potentially that could work better. You with me? So plan out that whole calendar year and have all your belt testing dates in it. So you know when to order belts, print certificates. All of that should be on a calendar. And make sure when you're planning for that future, you have a work-life balance. There should be a family vacation. I don't care if it's a staycation, if you go down the road to Alcoa campground. You need to show the value of your family. You need to show that because isn't that why we do what we do, right? So I want to be extremely mindful of that. At least I know I am. And if you saw me throughout the summer, I'm blessed. I got a lot of family time and it was scheduled in that way. And I don't mind if it lost me money. I don't mind if I miss a day of teaching because when I look at my kids who are 16 and 13, just about, I can't say, please be 5 again. Dad has time to spend with you now. It doesn't work that way. And I know for me to be optimal mentally and emotionally, I need to know I'm doing right by my family. I need to know I'm doing good by my family. That inspires me to go out there and generate revenue beyond anything imaginable. To begrudgingly sit out there and be a paycheck and just, be that unavailable father that's never there, that I just buy people stuff, that doesn't work. It doesn't. It doesn't. And it's been proven that historically, time and time and time again. So when you're doing that calendar, your personal calendar, please put it in the comments, make the commitment now that that will be a priority for you. Cool? All right. So what else for the future? A big one is that if you're not investing, can you please start doing that? I don't care if it's $1 a month, $10 a month. What we're discussing is number one, viewing your business as this money making machine after culture and doing the right thing. I'm just as a statement, view that as a money making machine to fuel your passive income you want to create, right? Whether it's real estate, you rent out houses or whatever the case may be, whether it's the, uh, stock market, CDs, whatever you decide is the way you want to invest. And don't ever let anybody tell you one way is better than the other. It's simply not, right? It's not about what is your risk level, it's about risk management. And anyone that's a true entrepreneur will tell you, I've made money and I've lost money. That's just the game. There's no way avoiding that. It just simply isn't, right? Look at our top professional athlete. Steph Curry makes 43% of his shots in basketball. So he's got to fail 57% of the time to be the best. That's the way it goes, right? But if you're not taking your money and creating passive income, then you are simply made a job for yourself and you're a terrible boss. Cool? Yep. Yep. As Jason's sharing, absolutely. I feel more successful when I have time to connect with my family. I do, because it is an earmark of success. When you can take that money and buy you time, that's that's it. I would rather spend that money on my team so I could be at my daughter's soccer game, which I will be 2 of them tomorrow, than saying, no, I can't be there because I have to teach. You with me? And that's super important, okay? All right, don't discount that stuff, please. Don't discount it because I know it's noble and I work hard for my family. And, there's been so many. Death of a Salesman was one, an old play. This guy was a door to door salesman and his family never saw him. And he wasn't even connected to anybody. He'd simply show up every 6 weeks when he came off the road, from selling and be home for a few minutes. Just yucky. I never want to live that life. And again, that was a very conscious choice. All right. So we covered staffing, we covered programs, we covered investments. What else is there? Your dream list. As I shared, we're going to Japan next year. I've never been to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I'm so looking forward to that trip to Japan, right? So when we talk about planning for the future, there's got to be fun stuff in there too. There does. Because once you know you want to go to Japan, then we figure it out. What's it going to cost? Are we flying first class? Where are we staying? How much money do we need? How many weeks are we there? And then you can begin to save and plan and do all those different things that I think is just super valuable. Okay. If you have something to look forward to, right, then it makes living your purpose even bigger, even more fulfilling. All right. Man, that was a lot to unpack today, right? That's a lot to unpack. But as you can see, I hope it just really creates the awareness that these last 4 months of the year are real crucial. They're so crucial. And if you do it right, what could have been a mediocre year for the first 8 months can end up being a powerful year. You have 4 months, but what do you need to do first? Look at the data of the first 8 months. What did you do really well in those 8 months? Double down. Whatever you didn't do well, tweak it out, or maybe close that program down, right? Same thing with team members. Who's rocking it? Who's not carrying the line? And maybe they need to go or be retrained, right? That's there as well. Looking at your programs, looking at your staff, looking at your expenditures for the first 8 months, what programs, as I shared, need to be amplified, all those things. And the reason I say now's the time, because I believe 8 months of data is a good amount of data to show you the trends, to show you the real health of your business. And that's why I chose to do this one now. As somebody said to me, what the heck are you talking about? What do you mean? It's still 4 months of the year. I got plenty of time. No, you don't. No, you don't. Those 4 months will be gone before you know it. And you'll have another mediocre year because you didn't make changes. You didn't adapt. You didn't do the things. And I'm giving this to you now in early September to challenge you to look at all those different aspects I named. And I can just review them really quickly with you. We talked about evaluate and optimize your expenses, right? Cut those expenses, optimize things, evaluate where you're wasting money, where you're not. Focus on high margin products or services. That's a big one, right? Whatever's generating the most revenue is what you double down on. And if camp isn't working for you, can it? If after school is working really well, double down on it, right? So I think that's important. Boost marketing efforts, right? At the end of the year like this, I'm doubling down. I want to end this year strong, and it takes money to make money. If you're not spending money on marketing, I don't know what to tell you. And it could be community-based marketing. It could be an in-house referral program. It doesn't have to just be Facebook ads, but you need to increase your marketing. That's a big one. Engage with your current customers. Love, 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 love them. Because if they start spending all that money in December and they come looking at January, they got huge credit card bills because of the holidays, they're evaluating just organically. We've been a year at One Martial Arts. How does that feel? Do we want to keep doing this? So engage with your current members. Get love on them. First thing I do when you quit my school is you get a thank you postcard thanking you for being part of our school. We're still here if you ever want to continue. Then I promptly step on that mat and teach the best class ever. And I love on the people that choose to stay with us, right? So that's important as well. Engaging with your customers. Expand your network and partnerships. Again, I think the right partnerships is really the key here. I share with you the professional student I see everywhere, yet their schools don't grow. You're not getting the right information. You're just a professional student who's a good note taker. But if I know my why and I know my purpose, I organically seek out the right information and the right people to network and partner with. The end of the year promotions, right? And events, that's a big one. Holiday party, the Halloween party, the buy a year pay in full because tuition goes up in January. That's a big one. All the different things that they're going to help end the year strong. Monitor your cash flow and adjust accordingly. We're a cash in, cash out business. I don't want to have, my expenses are 50,000 every month. One month I do 80,000. Next month I do 40. Next month I do 60. I want to have the steady amount of income coming in and going out on a month-to-month basis. So I want to monitor why are those discrepancies, in the cash flow. Why is 1 month 80 and the next one 50? What's going on here? So really monitor those cash flows and make adjustments. Implement customer feedback or common improvement. Getting your customers' feedback. I know surveys are a pain in the ass and people don't like them, but you can simplify them, gamify them. There's a lot of things you could do to get input. But if you're not at the pulse of what people like about your business, so you can double down on it, and you've not at the pulse of what they don't like, so you can mitigate it and change it, it's a huge loss. And then plan for the future. Success is something you plan for. It's not just something magically happens organically, because you're jacking the beanstalk and you plant a seed and you wake up the next day and you got a beanstalk going up to the clouds. That is not success. And I think that's my biggest challenge with consultants and marketers. They're all over Facebook. It's like some snake oil salesman or that guy in the Wizard of Oz who stood next to the wagon going, I've got this elixir. It cures everything, freaking everything. And when I look at those Facebook ads, I go to myself, I can't believe somebody buys that. Does someone actually pay him? It's really appalling. And I know you're better than that, but it's super important that you have a strong education to support that. Are you with me? Who's with me on that? So I'm always mining that data because I want to do and be better. And I know for me, that I know there's a skill set to being a great martial artist, a skill set to being a great instructor, a skill set to being a great small business owner, a different skill set to being an entrepreneur. I want to know where I'm at. As a martial artist, I'm about a black belt. I'm getting older, so I don't train as hard. As an instructor, I'm Yoda. I'm freaking on Yoda level, and I'm getting better too. As far as a small business owner, yeah, I've got that pretty much dialed in. I've weathered some tough storms, pandemic, mortgage crisis.com. If I'm still standing after 25 years and making great money, I would say I'm about a black belt. Entrepreneurship, that one I'm probably a brown belt still. You know, to me, a black belt is when I don't even have to, well, I don't now, but I totally know I never have to look at my bank accounts ever again. I want to be at that level. So that's why I'm not there as an entrepreneur yet. But beyond that, I think what ensures that is doing the kind of work, doing the kind of projects, working with the kind of people that will generate that revenue, but that challenge me as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a new thinker, as a thought leader, right? As a disruptor. That's where I need to be. That's where I need to be. And that's my own personal stuff. But I know that. I know all those things. Cool. So what are yours? I want you to get your journal, take it out. I hope you write a lot. I hope you took a lot of notes today. But more importantly, you go back and go over them and really sit down and think, what bubbles to the top of all this? What do I want to take action on right now? Right now, right now, right now. So let's thank our sponsors. Who do we have for our sponsors? Marco, pop them up there. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. All these companies I work with, all these companies impact my business, and you should be working with them too. It's Time Life Purpose is coming up November 9th to the 12th here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from San Francisco Airport. Please, we only have 10 spots left for the 4-day experience. Lots of spots for the 1 day and the 2 day, but I encourage you, sign up for the 4 days. Marco, put that link in there. 4 days. Day one, you observe classes in our locations and see why we're generating close to $2 million a year. It's a cultural thing. It's a branding thing. It's a purpose thing. Far beyond systems and curriculum and staff development. Far beyond that. To witness it live will change your life. Dave Carver will be in that Saturday afternoon on November 9th for a 4-hour boot camp of instructors training. Sunday, it's all about business, 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 and more business. I'll be backed up by Adam Lodi, who's going to take us through some marketing, and Shannon G. Park, who's doing great work with her curriculum development for children, early learning, as she says. And I think, again, what impressed me with Shannon, she sold both her schools, and she just traveled across the United States, going into schools, testing her methods, getting a beat, a pulse of where martial arts schools truly are in 2024. And then I'll take down the rest of Sunday myself. Monday, I take you on a personal journey, folks. Personal development. We're out in the woods. We're crying. We're journaling, really getting unstuck and figuring ourselves out. You are the captain of the ship. You are the one driving you're the lead singer in the band. If you're not right, nothing's right. And then Tuesday, we start off with Sam On, right? Sam On will take us on Tuesday morning through wealth building virtually. And then we'll work on accountability partners, strategize what we do with these 3 days of information. So we're ready to kill 2025. All right. I'm Brandon Beliso. I just want to thank everybody today. This has just been another amazing. Oh, there it is. Hey, you got the new slide. Wow, look at that. Look at that. So look at those good looking people. Right. So that is the magic for It's Time Life Purpose. And that's the group that I feel very blessed to be having. I think it's a good mix. You got the old dogs there. You got the new energy, the yin and the yang. I think a big part of my learning is I can learn from everybody and anybody if I have the mindset to learn, right? Wow, that's a good looking group, man. I love it. And then my team will be out there too, Marco, Monique, and Jason. You'll get to talk to them personally up close, one-on-one, and learn about our It's Time group mentoring. We're doing great work with the school owners that we're working with. It's a very, I would say, affordable by design because we want to help the small school owner. You make up the majority of our industry, but a lot of consultation fees, even mine personally, are just out of reach for you. And I get that. You got to create a budget, stick to the budget, live by the budget. But this is a wonderful team of people. And if you have questions about it, reach out to Jason, Monique, or Marco. So what a great show today. I want to thank everybody for choosing your valuable time to share and spend with me and Marco on the back end here. Please subscribe to my podcast, Success Never Sleeps, at Apple, Heart Radio, Spotify, all the different platforms for podcasts. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have literally a decade of learning there. in our show Success Never Sleeps. Of course, you can follow me at Instagram, join our Disruptor group at Facebook. For everything else, please go to BrandonBeliso.com. I am Brandon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.